There was a time when no human was rich and no human was poor. There were no banks, no salaries, no rent, no taxes, and no bills waiting at the end of the month. There was only hunger, weather, danger, and the constant need to survive. Nobody had much. But nobody had a warehouse full of resources either. For most of human history, survival mattered more than ownership. Early humans lived in small groups. They moved through forests, plains, rivers, and cold open lands, searching for food and trying to stay alive. They hunted animals, gathered plants, made simple tools, and slept close to fire because the night was dangerous. Their world was brutal, but it was also strangely equal. Not because ancient humans were perfect. They were not. Some were stronger, some were smarter, some were better hunters, better mothers, better tool makers, better at reading the land. But nobody could easily become rich. You could not carry a mountain of meat on your back. You could not protect a giant pile of fruit from rotting. You could not own a huge piece of land if your group had to keep moving to survive. In that world, hoarding was difficult, and often it was pointless. If a hunt succeeded, the food had to be eaten, dried, or shared. If someone got injured, others had to help. If one hunter failed today, another might succeed tomorrow. Sharing was not always kindness. Sometimes sharing was survival strategy. Because alone, a human was weak. Predators, cold nights, hunger, sickness, and bad seasons punished isolation fast. So humans learned something powerful. Keeping other people alive also helped keep you alive. But then something changed. In some places, humans began to settle down. They stopped moving so much. They planted seeds, watched crops grow, returned to the same land, and slowly learned how to produce food instead of only finding it. For the first time, food could be stored for later. Grain could be kept, animals could be guarded, tools could be collected, shelters could become stronger, land could become valuable. And once humans learned to store more than they needed for one day, everything changed. Extra food sounds harmless, but extra food creates a new question. Who controls it? If everyone is hungry together, no one owns hunger. But if one person has full baskets while another has empty hands, a new kind of difference appears. The person with extra can decide. They can share. They can trade. They can refuse. They can ask for work. They can ask for loyalty. They can ask for something back later. This was not money yet, but it was already economics. Because economics begins when resources become limited, useful, and controlled. Soon, humans started protecting what they had stored. Protection created boundaries. Boundaries created ownership, and ownership created exclusion. For the first time, someone could see food and still not touch it. That may have been the real beginning of poverty. Not poverty as a number in a bank account, not poverty as having no coins, because coins did not even exist yet. Poverty began as something deeper, losing control over the things that kept you alive. No land, no stored food, no animals, no tools, no protection, no place in the system except dependence. Some families had full baskets, others had empty hands. Some children inherited animals, tools, and land. Other children inherited need. This made inequality last longer than one bad season. Wealth could now survive through generations. And poverty could survive too. Then came another dangerous idea: debt. If someone needed food today, they could promise repayment tomorrow. But if tomorrow went badly, that promise became a trap. Debt did not need banks, coins, or written contracts. It only needed memory, scarcity, and unequal power. If you could not repay with food, you might repay with work, or loyalty, or part of your land. Little by little, survival became something people had to earn from other humans, not directly from nature. That changed everything. The first poor humans were not simply unlucky people in a harsh world. They were people without control over what kept them alive. And once that happened, poverty became more than hunger. It became fewer choices, less safety, less time, less freedom. It became needing permission while others had power. Maybe poverty did not begin when humans ran out of resources. Maybe it began when some humans learned how to control them, when ours slowly became mine. And that may have been the moment humans first became poor,